Talk about SALT for a minute. Let me tell you what SALT did in this country. It took districts like mine in Southwest Virginia, where the people are struggling to make ends meet, who are trying to hold on to their house, and it made them pay money, additional money, to support folks in rich areas of the country, in all fairness, like Mr. Tonko's district, and he's a good man. He's looking out for his constituents. I'm looking out for mine.
Yield for a question, please, Mr. Chair.
I'm glad to yield.
Do you know the average income in my district?
I don't know the average income, but I know that if you're having to worry about SALT, if you're in my district, that's $1 million house in most of my 29 jurisdictions. $1 million house. If you can afford $1 million house, you can probably afford to pay your own taxes instead of asking my coal miners, I take back my time, instead of asking my coal miners to pay the taxes for those folks who have $1 million houses. I mean, that's what I'm facing in my district. You don't have to worry about it if you don't own at least $1 million house. All right, that being said, and while I'm on a vent, a lot of comments have been made about CBO today and looking at CBO scoring of this and that. I would just remind everybody that when this committee authorized the sale of Spectrum, CBO said it would be zero. We got $40 billion. They were way off on the last Farm Bill. They were way off on Obamacare. And last year, when I put in a shot across the bow amendment under the rules that said that we were going to eliminate $15 million and there are 89 employees who do their analysis, they came back, and I gave them a second chance to get it right. They came back and said it would have zero impact on the budget. Eliminating their analysis would have zero impact on the budget. So if they don't think they're worth anything, I don't know why I should. All right, let's get back to what this hearing is actually about. Tax reform, tax cuts. It has started to show benefits in my district in Southwest Virginia. And while Mr. Green's jurisdiction had oil and they were doing very well, my coal and natural gas folks weren't doing quite as well, because our natural gas is not on the surface, it's down deep. It's in the methane in the coal beds. And we've seen some revival there. We've seen a significant revival nationally. Was recently visiting the West River Conveyor and Machine Factory. It's a small factory in Southwest Virginia in a little place called Oakwood. And what was telling was, not only are they expanding, they're working more, and they make equipment for mining all across the country, but one of their biggest problems that they were facing right now is that the economy is going so good, they're having a hard time finding truckers to take that heavy machinery that Mr. Hanlon doesn't believe we're investing in and our companies are investing in. They're having a hard time finding the truckers to take the machinery that they've built for facilities all across the country from point A, from Oakwood, Virginia, to wherever it needs to go on point B, because everybody else is competing for a limited number of truckers. That tells me the economy is percolating and things are good. And then you get down to the employees. Not only does that mean that as they're expanding and building a new building on their tract of land, not only does that mean jobs, but then you have Intervest, an oil and natural gas company with about 95 employees in Southwest Virginia. First Sentinel Bank of Richlands, First Bank and Trust of Abingdon, the KVAT food stores, that'd be Food City for everybody watching at home, Charter Communications, McDonald's, Kroger, et cetera, who are all doing things. And then last but not least, we got this little facility in Bristol, Virginia. Mr. Ferguson, would you like to talk about that little facility and how it's helped those folks?
Excuse me. A little facility is growing, expanding. We've been able to improve its asset base. We've invested in it. I think we added 12 jobs just in the last month, and we've got help wanted signs all over the place. So we've had to increase our wages to be able to recruit, and we look for that facility to do really well this year, and we're going to be investing more in it.
And those 12 folks who are working at your facility in Bristol, Virginia, they don't think that this tax cuts and jobs bill was just crumbs for them, do they? They're able to feed their families now, aren't they?
Well, and actually the 60 folks that were already at that site all got nice bonuses and nice raises, and they still have their $250 rewards and recognition that they can buy some TVs and whatever they want to buy with it. The 12 people that were added came in at the entry level, and we're training them to be mechanics, and so that they'll be able to move up and hopefully become supervisors and plant managers.
Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate the hard work that they do, and we appreciate the work that you're doing to continue to have jobs in Southwest Virginia. It's extremely important in an area that has been economically hit hard by the previous administration and by policies that have not looked out for folks in more rural and areas that are have a coal-based economy, because while they don't mine any coal in Washington County at this point in time, there's an awful lot of businesses that have connections to the coal industry and other industries in the area, and we do appreciate it. And with that, I yield back. Seeing that there are no additional folks here who wish to ask